Contents. Once you've decided to make the motion and have chosen a date, what is the motion supposed to look like? Well, the local rule tells you. The first thing to mention is that a motion has to include a notice of court date. This is how you inform everyone, the clerk, the judge, the other parties, that you are making the motion. This is really important, and if you try to file your motion without the notice required by this rule, the clerk will not accept your papers and tell you to fill out the notice form that complies with this rule. So save everyone some trouble and fill out this form before you go to the courthouse to file your motion. This is the form used in the Seattle courthouse. If you are in family court, or if you are making an ex parte motion, there's a different form. Like all pleadings, the form begins with a caption. And just below that you'll see to the clerk of the court and all other parties per list on page 2. And on page 2, you'll see this. List names and service addresses for all necessary parties requiring notice. This is important. You must serve your motion on every other party who has appeared in the case. That is, after all, the whole point of giving notice. After the formulaic "please take notice," you have to fill in the day and date and nature of your motion. You can take this from the name of your pleading. In the boxes below, there are several sets of instructions, depending on the kind of case you have. You'll remember from the case scheduling order that each case will have an assigned judge, although there are some exceptions. So you will only need to look at the box headed "Cases assigned to individual judges." This box covers 2 separate topics. The first is oral argument. Remember, except for dispositive motions, you don't get to argue your motion in person, so normally you will check the box next to "without oral argument." The second topic is working papers. Local Rule 7 requires that motion papers must be filed and served, so you need to prepare an original document for filing with the clerk and a copy for each of the parties you will have to serve. But you will also have to make an additional copy for the judge. This is called the judge's working papers, or working copies, because they are for the judge's use only and will not be filed or preserved after the case is closed. You will also see this. The copies provided to the judge and all parties should be in the same form, including but not limited to markings, highlights, and color copies. This reference to markings and highlights is important. If you attach a document several pages long, but you only want the judge to consider a single paragraph, highlight that paragraph, so the judge doesn't have to flip through the entire document to find what you are writing about. Do the same for the copies that you serve on the other party. The notice form also tells you what to do with the working papers. You have to write the judge's name and date of the hearing in the upper right-hand corner of each document that you file with a motion. And you have to indicate who is presenting the papers. For example, plaintiff's papers, if that's who you are. Then the form tells you that you have to deliver working papers to the judge's mailroom, which is room C203 in the King County Courthouse in downtown Seattle, if that's where your case is being heard.